The first time he saw her, she was bleeding out on red dirt that didn't belong to either of them. Her gun was still warm from the shootout. 3 traffickers lay dead near the docks in Conakry, their speedboat drifting toward the dark Atlantic. And his finger, God help him, was still tight on the trigger. He had almost killed her. It wasn't supposed to be a love story. It was supposed to be a clean operation. Agent Daniel Cross had been embedded for 8 months, dismantling an arms network operating through Guinea. He was exhausted, paranoid, and operating on intel that warned of a rogue operative infiltrating the mission. When the firefight erupted, he saw a silhouette move in his peripheral vision. Fast, precise, lethal. He didn't recognize her, so he fired. She dropped. When the smoke cleared and the criminals were down, Daniel rolled her over, ready to confirm the kill. Instead, he locked eyes with the most furious woman he had ever seen. "You idiot," she hissed through blooded lips. "I'm CIA." Her name was Amora Quarting. She had been running a parallel operation, classified above his clearance. She'd taken a bullet to the shoulder. His bullet. He carried her 2 miles through mangrove swamps to extraction. That was how it began. Back in Langley, the debrief was brutal. They should have hated each other. Instead, they kept requesting the same assignments. Daniel told himself it was professional guilt. It wasn't. Amora moved like controlled lightning. She spoke 5 languages. She could dismantle a rifle in under 20 seconds. She laughed like she didn't believe she deserved to. And she never talked about her family. It wasn't until 6 months later, during a surveillance operation in Accra, Ghana, that Daniel learned the truth. They were parked across from a fortified estate overlooking the coast. The briefing photo popped up on his tablet. The target wasn't a criminal. It was a king. King Kofi Quarting III, descendant of Ashanti royalty, tech magnate, and one of West Africa's wealthiest men. Daniel glanced at Amora. She had gone still. "That's my father," she said quietly. The agency hadn't told him. They hadn't told her either. Her father wasn't the target. He was being extorted by a foreign intelligence ring, and Amora had volunteered to go undercover inside her own bloodline. But here was a fracture in everything. Her father hated her job. He thought the CIA had stolen his daughter. He wanted her in silk gowns and boardrooms, not firefights and covert ops. He funded humanitarian projects and satellite programs, yet he couldn't accept that his daughter chose danger over dynasty. When Daniel met him, it wasn't in a palace. It was in a private war room beneath the estate. The king looked Daniel over like assessing livestock. "You shot my daughter," he said calmly. Daniel didn't deny it. "Yes, sir." The silence was suffocating. "And you carried her out?" "Yes, sir." The king leaned back. "That is the only reason you are still breathing." The mission spiraled. The extortion ring wasn't after money. They wanted leverage. And leverage meant Amora. She was both CIA and royalty, a geopolitical goldmine. When the ambush came, it was precise. Daniel was drugged. Amora was taken. But the real twist? She let herself be captured. Amora had uncovered a mole inside Langley. The intelligence leaks, the conflicting briefings, the Guinea chaos. It hadn't been an accident. Daniel hadn't almost killed her by mistake. He'd been fed altered coordinates. The mole had wanted them to eliminate each other. Her capture flushed him out. And the mole? It was Daniel's handler, the man who had mentored him for 10 years. The betrayal nearly destroyed him. When Daniel realized the truth, he didn't wait for authorization. He teamed up with the one man who had every reason to hate him, King Quarting. Royal Security and CIA Black Ops moved as one. They stormed an abandoned mining compound outside Accra at dawn. Daniel found her in a steel container, wrists bruised but eyes blazing. "You figured it out," she whispered. He cut her free. "I almost lost you twice," he said. She smirked despite everything. "You don't get a third." The mole was exposed, arrested, silenced. Afterward, the king offered Daniel something unexpected. "Leave the agency," he said. "Marry my daughter. Help us build something legitimate. Use your skills for protection, not shadows." It was tempting, but Amora surprised them both. "I don't need rescuing," she told her father, "and I don't need permission." Then she turned to Daniel. "And if we're doing this, it's as equals." So they stayed, 2 CIA agents. Still covert, still dangerous. But now the king funds their operations through humanitarian fronts that dismantle trafficking networks legally and illegally alike. And just when Daniel believed the secrets were over, the night before their wedding, Amora handed him a sealed file. Inside was a classified directive. Her father wasn't just a king. He had been a CIA asset for 25 years. He had arranged her recruitment. He had orchestrated the Guinea assignment. He knew Daniel would pull the trigger because he had already vetted him. The king didn't hate her job. He built it around her. Daniel looked up from the file, shaken. "Did you know?" Amora met his gaze. "No," she said softly. And for the first time since Guinea, they both realized there were still pieces in a game far bigger than love.